What's up?
What's up, everybody? If that didn't wake your ass up, I don't know what else will.
Fair enough.
Welcome to another edition of Pitre Dish. I'm your host, Howard Pitre, along with host Mr. Chad Eye Candy himself. Also with Miss Jackie Harmon. She's moving. She's trying to get online as we speak. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but, as soon as she comes in, we'll put it in. And if not, damn, girl, you need to get your shit together.
No kidding.
Oh, Lord. Tonight we are, and I'm going all over the place. Tonight we have a special guest, is Mr. Chris Harmon. He is with, he's a referee for Dive, I believe it's called, DIVE.
So, Dive Wrestling, I've done Devotion Championship Wrestling, Ultra Championship Wrestling Zero out of Salt Lake City, Utah. So, a few of them.
There she is.
Hey,
Now she's calling me.
Jax!
I'm so sorry. I don't know what is happening with my computer, but I'm literally, I've been working on it for 15 minutes. I have no freaking clue what happened.
Technology, you gotta love it.
Oh my
Plain
God.
and simple.
Pain in the butt. How are you?
It's usually a user error.
Well, it's just not coming on. It's just literally black screen not coming on at all. So
Did you plug it in?
yeah.
Try turning it off and putting it back on.
Yeah.
You try giving it a hard reboot or hard boot?
I'm waiting for, I even smacked it with my hard boob. Yes.
Yeah.
Your hard
that's a song.
boob. I didn't know you had a hard boob.
Yeah. One hard, one soft.
It's like a foreign object, isn't it?
I made it that way so when I have technology problems, I can smack it around.
Oh, Lord.
I will not comment on that part.
I gotta share this. Let's see. Wait. I've never done this on my phone before. How do you do this? Let me see if I turn it this way.
Let's go this way. We got hello from the go.
Okay.
Irene Dekakora. This is, I don't know who this is.
Probably something from your page.
Might be.
Let's see.
And there she is.
Hi, Chrissy. Hi, Irene. Hi, everybody. It's hard. I'm having a hard time because I'm on my phone and it's not showing me things like normal. So give me a second. I'm trying to figure it out. Comments. Oh, how weird.
Probably does better on your phone than it does on your computer.
Facebook users is Chris Sanders.
Chris!
Hi, Chris. I can't share it from here though.
No, you can't share it once you do it that way.
Oh. Okay, well where are we? Because I have a couple people asking where we are.
You're on
Ponto.
Swamp Investigations page.
Okay.
Paranormal Swamp Talk page. You're on my Linkit page. You're on my YouTube page. And I'm working on getting Twitch.
Twitch?
Yeah.
Twitch actually isn't a bad one, honestly.
I'm gonna try to see.
John. Hey, Irene.
Now let's get back to Mr. Harmon.
Yeah, it's still showing you the Facebook user, Chris.
Chris Sanders.
That's Chris Sanders. Yeah, we got more than one Chris on tonight, so.
Oh, I'm used to that. I know many Chris's. Growing up in high school, there was one class where it was 5 Chris's, all sitting together too, make it easier on the teacher. And all he had to say was, "Is all the Chris's here?" Would be like, "Yo."
Hey, we're all here.
Now, we had 3 Chads
easier.
when I was in school, so.
Oh God.
And of course, I'm friends with 2 of them that have colored last names, like Chris Black and Chris Green. And I'm the uncolored one. Go figure that one out. They're like, way to go, Harmon. Ruin it for everybody. I didn't choose my last name. Sorry.
I heard that same thing a lot.
It doesn't surprise me. I'm going to be honest. It does not surprise me.
It's more like, what are you up to now?
As I just tell everybody, just another day in paradise, plain and simple.
Right.
And it's Joanne.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah.
This is a trip doing this on your phone. No wonder Nikki's always like.
Yeah, right. Nikki told me she got a new phone. She's ready to come on the show again.
And
That's
she wants
what I
me.
need.
She wants me to give a shout out to Melvin Brazel. He's going in the hospital for 7:30. Just want to say a prayer. We're praying for him, please. So our prayers are going out for him. I don't know what's going on with him, but our prayers are going out for him. So
Jackie just went black.
yeah,
Oh,
she went.
sorry. Hold on.
She's got to need a boob.
I'll
It's the hard one.
I'll hit it with the hard boob. It'll straighten up.
Yeah.
There he is. It's Chris.
Hang on. I know it's weird. It's really weird doing it on my phone because I can't like stay on and tell people where to go. You're on. It's hot.
That's
It's
Joe.
It's a
Joanne
haunted
Stewart.
network, right?
No, we're not on that tonight. That's
We're
tomorrow
not
night.
on that tonight. Okay.
That's tomorrow night.
I'm sending positive vibes to the gentleman that is going to be in the hospital at 7:30. 7 positive and healing vibes to you.
Give him the smack down if he doesn't recover.
Okay.
But Chris is he's a paranormal investigator, correct? He also
Yep.
what team you're with?
So I am the founding organizer to the Western Association for the Science of the Paranormal, also known as WASP.
Wasp. Like a sting. They come out and sting you, right?
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. We're the negative bee of Utah, the wasp. Since it's considered the beehive state, I mean,
There you go.
make it a little darker.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. And also, since we were just talking about this before the show, there was two WWE longtime referees that just passed away.
Yes.
So we were talking about that. So our prayers are with their families and their loved ones.
Absolutely. And a shout out to them. Thank you for what you taught in the wrestling business as a referee. I look both at Tim White and Dave Hepner as inspiration, influencers when it comes to being a referee, because they really showed what you needed to do in order to make sure that the match went as fluid as possible. So thank you for all you taught for all us referees out there. And my condolences to the family and friends of these great gentlemen.
Besides that, I was talking to Chris just now, and I haven't watched wrestling since the age of when Stone Cold,
Yeah, I mean,
The Rock, and all those guys were on there. And before that, I used to watch Mid-South Wrestling and shows like, I remember seeing when it was the Junkyard Dog first came. I remember seeing Hacksaw Jim Duggan when he first came out. And, all these big Andre the Giant, and all the big superstars. Yeah, Jimmy the Superfly, Snooker. That's how long it's been. Something. But these new wrestling,
Hulk Hogan.
I watched Raw and Hulk Hogan, Undertaker. But since these new wrestlers came out, and then it's more glam. The Bushwhackers. Yeah, that's true. The lead came in and said the Bushwhackers.
There's a classic tag team for you.
Hardy Boys. All these guys. Now it's become more glamorous. It's more of a soap opera, and then there's more wrestling.
Vince turned it into sports entertainment, as he likes to call it. And to me, it's hit and miss. There are sometimes you can get some great matches out there, but other times you're just like, what are you thinking? A lot of the people there, in the backstage area, like the writers, They just don't know what they're doing. In fact, WWE has released over 150 to 200 talent between 2020 and now, and a lot of them were really good. They were really good talent that could have made something for the WWE. And it's funny, for years, I always wanted to be a referee for the WWE, but everything that's going on right now, it's actually a fire I dodged heavenly, so I'm pretty good now.
I know there's a lot of.
You have a really great voice for that. That would have been good.
It would have been fantastic if they would have given me a chance. The only problem is my age is probably one thing, because I'm 39 years old, turned 40 in January, and they don't want anybody over 30, so which is complete and utter bull crap.
He's my older cousin, by the way.
He said that's bullshit. He wants DNA test.
Nope, I'm her older cousin. That's correct. I'm her older cousin. She's my older cousin. Or I'm her older. Okay, moving on.
All true stories.
But the other thing, the other garbage about it too is I got told by two different people, because I'm a white and a male, they're not looking for referees that are white males anymore. They want to focus on diversity. I'm fine with. That's not a big deal. Just throw everybody in, not just leave one group out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So,
I still believe if you're qualified to do it, then that's the most qualified one should get it. Not because it's you want diversity. And that's just let them learn. I mean, that's the part of it. I mean, heck, nowadays you got these kids that come out of school and stuff, and they want that top paying job. But they don't understand. Well, you got to clean shit out of toilets first, then work your way up. Oh no, they want that top job now, and it's like they're entitled, and that's not the way to go about things.
Nope, you got to work for it. You have to work for it every time. You can't expect things to be handed to you on a silver platter. Here you go. You graduated high school. Congratulations. Here's a $60,000 paying job. No, that's just not how it works. You put a lot of work and effort into everything that you do. If you put the time and the effort in, it pays off. If you don't, you're getting nowhere. Plain and simple.
They talking about in Japan. Irene's saying that women's wrestling is really bit popular there now.
I think honestly, women's wrestling is one of the foundations right now that's really popular in pro wrestling, because you got a lot of great names out there that doing a fantastic job that make it look really good. In fact, I know there's going to be WOW, which is Women of Wrestling, that they're relaunching. That's supposed to be coming out really soon, and I actually know a couple of the talent that will be working with them, because one of them, her name's Diana Milford, a.k.a. Reka Tahaka. She's going to be a part of it, and I know she's going to be fantastic.
So, what do you think about this cage match? What they call it? What's the name of that sport that they do now? It's everything in it. It's wrestling, boxing, kickboxing. What the heck's the name of it now? I don't watch it at all. I've just seen it a few times. It's like mixed martial arts type stuff in the ring with it. MMA. So what do you think?
Oh, are you referring to UFC?
Yeah, UFC.
It's awesome. It's definitely it's got a lot to it. I haven't watched a lot of it growing up, just because I haven't been the biggest fan of it growing up. Recently, I actually watched my first UFC event, and the thing I don't like about it is the big main event that they focus on, it could end in 5 seconds, and that's the show. Even though they add 6 to 7 matches for the card, the main event is the one thing that really just ruins it. And
right, I'm sorry.
Hope you're good. Courtney, Macho Man's actually one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He was like one of my favorites, and when he passed away back in what was it, 2011, 2012? That was heartbreaking.
Wrestlers seem to have a short lifespan for a lot of them, I've noticed.
Well, you had which name? Benoit. Was it Chris Benoit? I think it was. One of the Benoit wound up murder suicide. Yeah, he just went off the deep end, and I mean, that kind of shit happens. I mean, it's just not just in the WWE. I mean, it goes any profession.
Yeah.
I mean, stress
Oh, yeah.
gets to people.
I can tell you with the Chris Benoit situation, one of his moves, he would like to jump off the top rope and use his head, and that's gonna mess you up big time, especially if you're adding any alcohol, any type of medication together. It's gonna mess you up big time. In my personal opinion, that whole entire thing with Chris Benoit, I think there's more a conspiracy theory about it, but I won't get into that because I think there's more to it than meets the eye, honestly.
I liked him too. He was a good wrestler.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he was low key,
fantastic.
but he was low key, but he did what he had to do, and he went in and he got his name recognition.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, I really liked the guy. I mean, he was one of my favorites. Was also, I mean, like I was telling you before. I mean, I used to watch. Used to go to down here in the South. They had what they called Mid South Wrestling, and I went to the bathroom and I was little. I mean, I was real little. I couldn't reach the urinal, so I was waiting. You heifer.
Yeah, that was my that was because I was going to put up my camera thing back here.
Oh no!
Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you. You got some
Is it
static.
staticky?
Yeah, static.
It's like some
coming
popping or something. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna leave for a second and try to come back in because I'm reading it and it says come out and come back.
All right,
Okay.
but I was too little to get to the urinal, and then somebody picked me up, so I thought it was my dad, and it was what was his name? And Skatbar, whatever his name. He was the Iron
Okay.
Sheik. I think he changed his name later on to Iron Sheik or something like that. He became the Iron Sheik.
You
And
didn't pee all the cream, did you?
no, I mean it was just weird that you see these guys who play these parts in the ring, but some of them are downright evil in the ring, but it's a part that they play.
Yeah.
And they're the nicest guys in real life. I mean, they'll give you the shirt off their back, if you ask them to, because they came up through the ranks eating ramen noodles if they can afford that at the time, because you have to pay your dues just like everybody else to get up to the professional leagues.
Without question. And it's still that way to this day. Spending 16 years in the indies, whether it was ring announcing, timekeeping, video editing, or refereeing, you put the time in to get your acknowledgement. And it just sucks that I wasn't able to get where I needed to be. But it was still a learning experience. I've still got stories from the time I got knocked off the ring apron into steel chairs, to the time where I watched a guy get completely knocked unconscious, falling off of a ladder. There's plenty of them out there. You still got the stories.
Let's flip this over to the paranormal side. I
Still,
wonder how many of these wrestlers are still here with us, as in spirit, as coming back, have never left.
that's an
Haunting.
honest question. And I think the one that really sits in my mind the most is Owen Hart when he passed away in '99 in KC. I still wonder to this day if that building has any activity going on from the type of accident that happened, because the way he passed away was it was bad.
It was brutal.
Oh, it was horrifying to see that happen. And usually something like that's what causes them to stick around, and they have some unfinished business or something that it makes me wonder what would happen if we go into that arena and if something comes up, if we mention Owen Hart's name.
Right.
And the other ones that have passed, and Chris Benoit, another great example. What's going on with his mansion that he had, his house out in Georgia?
That better, guys?
That's better.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. But with Chris Benoit, how's his house with the atmosphere that it was? What's the activity out there? Or is there things being moved? Are you seeing apparitions? What's going on? So I think it's a valid question. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a passing or a spirit of a past wrestler.
I mean, that would to me to be awesome. I mean, go into Andre the Giant and see him, and get him as a an entity or a spirit coming through.
Oh yeah.
To me, that would be, yeah, no shit, huh?
I was another one with Tim White that just passed away. He had an old pub. I'm not sure what city it is. It makes me wonder, because of his attachment to that building, if he still inhabits it now.
Yeah.
Even with him just passing on.
It's true. Because these guys put their heart and souls in this stuff. I mean, and when you do something like that and you pass away tragically like that, that's got to, it's got to play something on you,
Oh, agree.
and you put that much blood, sweat, and tears into something, you're going to be attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't care who, if he died unexpectedly, or a tragic death. It was just like with Owen Hart,
Yeah.
Because I mean, you see these guys, they risk life and limb just to get a few applause, and to sell a freaking, back then was $30 ticket. Now they range into the hundreds, but just to sell a ticket, and what do they get out? Nothing. They just get a little publicity on the television every once in a while or something like that, unless you become a superstar.
Yeah, exactly. And another example, it's not just pro wrestlers. You think also celebrities that have passed away in tragic deaths. First one that comes to mind when we talk about this is Sharon Tate, part of the Helter Skelter murders with Charles Manson's group. That place has got to have some of the worst activity that you can think of.
That's David Owen.
Yeah.
Well, I know firsthand. I've actually, investigated that property multiple times at David's house, and it's crazy. The activity that we get there, the voices. I mean, people have said they've actually seen her, literally, like they'll see her walking by. So yeah, it's crazy.
Gracie and Debbie both told me that they saw Sharon 4 or 5 times in the house. One, when she was pregnant, when she's not pregnant, and an evening gown type things that they started. And then also another one comes to mind of that same piece of property is they have claims that seen Rudolph Valentino.
Yeah.
Same piece of property. So I mean, is that is it a portal there? That's another thing. Is that
it 100% feels like there's a portal in David's house, without a doubt. You can feel it.
I think David's a portal. He's just a spirit magnet. I mean, he can go anywhere. They like his ribs. That's what it is.
I like David's ribs.
They just stick around for the ribs. He said, "Screw you, David. We're just here for the ribs."
Nice, very nice. I'll be honest. I have the same issue with Chris Black, part of my team. He's our evidence and analyst, and everywhere we take him, something has to happen every single time. Great example. Back in 2009, 2010, we were checking out this old boarding school that was up in Brigham City, Utah, and they were in this one particular room. It had the markings of devil worshiping on the floor and a dead cat. All of a sudden, he starts hearing the phrases, kill him, and then he throws up. And the guy, I swear the guy is, what have I been using? What term is it? Of course, I think of the term, it's all of a sudden disappeared. A conduit. He's a conduit when it comes to the paranormal. If you go onto our YouTube channel, we posted the story of us being on Channel 5 Eyewitness News doing Utah's Ghost Island. He gets scratched. And before that, on his little PX box, it says Chris Suffer. And he mentions before that he did not have protection on. So he had nothing protecting him. And lo and behold, he got scratched in the arm. And he couldn't even review that evidence anymore because it just frightened him. So, yeah, I hear what you're saying about David, because I got it with Chris for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I think every group has at least one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go turn my sprinkler off real quick.
All right.
Yeah, it never fails when I'm at David's house. There's going to be some kind of crazy activity. I mean, we've had everything that you can imagine, like crazy things, you know. Sometimes they're like what now we consider small things would be huge to someone else, but it's like we have things knocking over, voices, whispers, and sometimes it sounds like someone's like kind of like whispering, like trying to get your attention. Almost like kind of like a grunt, but more like a growl. I mean, there's so many things that we've had. Doorknob shaking. I mean, you name it. It's crazy.
So when do I get an invite to come check this out? Because I'm curious.
Anytime you want, come.
I want to come check this out. I got to bring my SLS camera. I've got to bring some equipment and see what other things could be happening for sure.
Yeah. Oh, David would love to have you there.
Even cook you some ribs.
He will make the best ribs ever.
Okay, now I know what the ribs part was.
You gotta tell me what your favorite dessert is. I always bring dessert.
I was going to say, now I know what you're talking about with the ribs. He says he's got great. I heard earlier he's got great ribs. I'm like, hey, to each their own. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. Now I know what you're talking about. Now,
yeah,
okay.
David is like the barbecue rib master. I'm telling you,
The rib whisperer.
There
he's
you go.
the rib whisperer. I kid you not. Yeah.
We'll definitely have to make that happen.
Howard,
What's that?
What?
is your AC on?
Yeah, it's on. It's just hot, man.
You look like you're like,
Sweating, huh?
yeah.
Oh my gosh. I even got mine cranked today. It's so hot here.
We hit the 90s out here, and then a thunderstorm rolled in just a few moments ago. So, yeah, the
Maybe
weather
it
in Utah,
cooled
you
down.
got to love it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be raining every day here in Florida.
We don't
Surprised.
start that till next week.
When's hurricane season, by the way, Dave?
Hey,
Huh?
When's hurricane season again?
June 1st.
June 1st? So you're
Yeah,
already okay.
Hurricane.
Yeah.
But the answer to that gentleman's question, Rob, it wouldn't surprise me if it's some of these passing of the spirits of celebrities are residual, because that's a very common thing that could happen. So to me, yeah, it could be residual.
This is like the house of George Reeves, who was the original Superman.
Mhm.
There's claims that people were in his house when they're going to sleep. One of the claims is when they're sleeping. One person was sleeping in bed at night, and he was standing at the foot of their bed in his Superman costume with his hands on his hip, just looking down at him.
Dang.
So,
That's the way to go out, though.
and there's a big
That's for
controversy about that. I mean, did he kill himself? Was he
Someone's
murdered?
gonna find me one day dead, laying on the floor in like a Batgirl costume or something. It's gonna happen.
I'm trying to figure out what
Probably my
in.
Miss Bigfoot costume because I sweat to death.
Yeah, I was going to say you'd die of heat exhaustion in it.
Yeah, bring it up to northern Utah in the winter. You'll be fine. I wouldn't suggest it during the summer, but definitely during the winter. Just don't go into the mountains.
In that costume, I'll be shot.
Yeah.
Don't go up in the mountains. You may be shot, but you also might have a Bigfoot coming up trying to give you a present of some sort. Wink, wink.
Jax might like that, but
Hey now.
Nope, I'm not going there. Staying out of that one.
I know this.
Smart
thing's
man,
run
smart
way
man.
faster than I do. This will not be happening.
No, just stay in the valley. You'll be fine. And if they ask, she's in costumes. It's not a real Bigfoot. She's in costume. Stop. You stop. Don't. Nope. Put the gut down. She's in costume. I promise.
Oh my God.
Although that would be a fun prank to do if somewhere in Clearfield.
oh,
if everyone knew about it.
Speaking of pranks that you could do with people, did you see that? I think it's Amazon that has the Echo box, the Amazon Echo or whatever, that you're like, Alexa, do this.
Yeah.
You can program it now with old relatives' voices.
Yeah.
Like
Someone who
people who
passed
have
away.
died?
No.
Yeah, if you want to, you have a if you have a recording of their voice, you can have them actually talk to you.
So you could program that in somebody's house and say, Alexa, and it come back with your
voice.
Dead relative's voice coming back and talking back. Do you know how much you could scare the crap out of people doing that?
I don't think that's a good idea, in my opinion.
I'm not.
That
I'm
right
not
there.
enjoying this idea.
I would do it.
That's a hard no for me.
The only way I could do it is if I had my late grandma Louise's voice and doing it in my parents' house to freak out my mom. Plain and simple. That's the only way.
That's what I'm saying. You could do that and really freak some people out.
But all kidding aside, I couldn't do that. No, that's way too creepy, especially when they've got stuff going on.
I think it would make you emotional.
I think so.
It might be comforting too.
It could be, yeah. For some, yeah, it depends on the person. I think it could be comforting. For me, no. Because if my dad, Steve, passed away, I don't want to hear his voice. No.
Right.
I
was thinking it would, you could freak people out with it more than it'd be useful.
Yeah, and I can understand why.
Yeah.
No, the only reason why I wouldn't really do that with my grandma's voice is we've had my grandma in that house before based off of the smell of lilacs. So
if it was my grandmother, she'd be telling me the wrong crap because she had dementia. Okay. So I wouldn't even be getting the right answers.
Put some butter on it, baby. It'll be all right.
Calling me Tracy, my sister.
I'll admit the Miss Bigfoot costume at the convention this past December, that was funny to know it was actually you. I'm like, wait, what? It was you? Yeah. I thought you were a little taller. That was like the shortest Bigfoot I've ever seen in my entire life.
I tried to wear some big boots, but no.
It was a Mrs. Bigfoot. They're smaller.
Miss Bigfoot. I was Miss Bigfoot on the show. I was Bigfoot at the event.
That's what Courtney said just now. She said, I do miss Mrs. Bigfoot, LOL. We need have another sighting, LOL.
Miss Bigfoot was a sex fiend.
We'll do Miss Bigfoot after I get settled into my new place. How about that?
All right, we'll do that.
Right. Yeah.
Put her on.
All right, I'll do that.
Bring Chris on when we do that.
Awesome. Let's do it.
That'll be fun.
This prank was brought to you by.
That was a lot of fun, but let me tell you something. I bet you I sweat off 10 pounds in 2 hours.
I may need to borrow it then. That might help me out.
I was going to say, you're going to help with the summer bod, then just go put on a Bigfoot outfit and walk, especially if you wanted to walk around here. So
walk around the house, clean the house. I'll be a size 0 in a week.
Make sure you leave all the windows or the blinds up and everything. So if somebody's Bigfoot spotted.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm going to be dancing in the windows.
Give me the costume. I'll wear it 5 days a week. I'll be back to 200 in no time.
I'm telling you, it won't even take that long.
Okay, well, there you go.
That thing's a sweat
You would know.
To the extreme.
Did you notice
my air cranked to like 60 that day, and I was still sweating.
Did you notice my stop cam avatar, Jax?
Yeah.
I was wondering if you'd noticed that.
To see the other one he's got up, and then oh my God, they didn't want to see that.
I heard they're gonna get in trouble.
We're talking about a cage match as me as the referee on pay-per-view. And anything goes. Weapons, just no knives. We don't need any stabbing.
No.
Oh, Irene, by the way, I saw a news article that said, do not stick creamsicles up your vagina to cool them off.
Now, why not?
Get diabetes.
That was actually a news article.
You get diabetes.
I saw a lady on Facebook had this big necklace on earlier, and each thing on her necklace was an ice cube. I was like, damn, that's a good idea. I'm going to need that on Saturday when I'm moving out, and it's like 98 degrees.
Well, how hot is it over there where you at, Jax?
Probably about 98 degrees right now.
You got to about 113, 114 feel like weather.
If I was there, I wouldn't be moving out. I'd be paying about $10,000 to find someone else to do it.
I'll tell you what, though. Someone is sticking up a popsicle up there. You know what?
Your
That's a new foodborne illness right there with an STD attached to it. That would be great.
Yeah.
Thinking a
It
little
should
outside
taste
the
like
box on
seafood,
that.
Mom.
Actually, it says it's kind of like
Yeah, but listen, don't tell people not to do that. I need to stay in business. I got to get those antibiotics out.
actually it
my
says you're not
job.
supposed to do it.
Oh my God.
It says
I
you're
gotta
not
get
supposed to
down
do
to
it because
Mexico
it's like sticking your tongue to a frozen flagpole or something.
Yeah. I mean,
Take it out
let's
and you just
say
cool
In
it.
the winter,
probably
maybe,
gonna be a
but
little
not the summer.
tastier.
But not the summer.
You got a tasty hoo-ha.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that's a cream. I stuck a creamsicle
Yeah.
in there earlier.
and then you put it back in the freezer and your kid goes in there and licks on it. This tastes like seafood, Mom.
Howard!
That's nasty.
Howard,
What's wrong with it?
you are.
Oh,
Where?
I think the last time I was on here, I used the phrase "We are a classy bunch." I think that still falls in
We?
that category.
Oh, yeah, you got that wrong.
Oh, Jeff Foxworthy reference.
Hmm.
We are a classy bunch.
We are a classy bunch. I'm going to start putting that on my name right there. We are a classy bunch.
Jackie, we are a classy bunch. Harmon.
Classless Harmon is more like it.
I don't know if you would have seen her at that wedding before the wedding. You would
What
If
happened
you
at the
just-
wedding?
before the wedding. You just be shaking your head.
Listen, I have no shame in my game. You can talk about it.
Hey, she's in her late 20s. She's going to do what she wants. Plain and
Yeah.
simple.
Especially in Nolans. Uh-huh. Listen, if I drive away from my house, that's a vacation. You never know when the top's going to come off.
Well, what can
Like,
I
I'm
say? I
away from
appreciate your
home.
honesty.
It
What
came
can I
off
say?
at the-
I appreciate your honesty.
Right?
came off at the Hilton. It came off at it came in a hot tub, matter of fact. Jacuzzi, hot tub.
True story.
It's a good thing we're not playing Sweet Home Alabama right now. That's all I've got to say. Two
Oh,
relatives together. And we're talking about
Oh my
taking
God.
tops off. Sweet.
Cooling
Okay, I'm
bandos.
done.
some guy somewhere
Thank
in
you.
the world's got footage of this.
Yeah, don't go
Daddy-o.
on. Yeah, don't go on the internet. It's probably probably a fortune. I'm guessing by now. And you're not getting a cent of it, so yeah, I'd be
I'm gonna
pissed.
I'm gonna be on the internet like that angry cat.
I could see that happening.
Hey, those are my boobs.
Wait a minute, I recognize those. What is this?
What's the deal with the semicolon though? That's the
Be like, I recognize that tattoo.
oh Lord.
Joe Bat will be on their boobs.
Boom.
Yeah, where is Joe?
Yeah, Joe hasn't been on it for a while.
I don't know. He's been busy. He's
Boobs?
working. He's just working.
Mm-mm.
He's thinking about maybe moving over to I think he said Chico. I think he said something like that. Going over to Chico. So he might be out for a little bit doing his thing. I'm in the smack middle of my move. I've been packing all week. If you guys saw my house right now, you'd think I was a straight up hoarder. I showed you a picture.
I seen
I
the
saw
picture.
that.
I got a closet that still looks like that. So
Come on.
from 3
My whole
years
house
ago,
looks like that.
huh?
My entire house looks like that right now. I'm just
Me,
like,
my
look around. I'm like,
carport's been like that.
what is
I lost
all
some
this
sheds,
crap?
You know what's funny about that? Earlier this year, we had a case out in Tooele, Utah. And if you go into the house, it looked like it was a hoarder. It was disgusting. I don't know. Okay. I don't know how many times I stepped in poo
In the house?
in the house. I was not happy. I ended
That's
up.
disgusting.
I'm looking at the person that set this up. I'm like, okay, next time we need to make sure that the place is in a good living order before we go and investigate. Because if I step in shit one more time, I'm going to be furious.
I
I
can't
was gonna
believe
say,
you stayed. To
I'm
be
surprised
honest,
you didn't turn around and walk out.
me too, Chris.
Yeah, there's
I would
definitely
have.
something
I would have
possessed in
left.
here. I don't know if it's spiritual or not, but you got something wrong. There's something wrong in here for sure. So
Yeah, the
Listen,
cleanliness.
If anyone's living like that, they have mental issues to begin with.
I will not comment. It was that. It was pretty bad. I ended up having to go and grab
Gross.
one of my N95 masks and throw it on to go back in. I was just like,
No way. You went back in for seconds?
because, well, it's one of those things. It's like you saw it the first time, you couldn't believe it, so you had to see it a second time to make sure you weren't sleeping. And let me tell you,
That's like getting back together with an ex. You know what it's going to be like. Don't go back.
well, we haven't gone back to that place since then because we've already. The person that set it up already has informed them. Okay, if you want us to actually investigate this place, tidy it up a little bit. It's not really good.
I've been into houses doing AC work like that, and then it was like you still had to do the work because they needed AC, but it was like
No.
That's
send the new
nasty.
guy.
That's
Send
a
the new
hard
guy.
no for me. No.
The scary thing is this girl worked at a funeral home, the woman that we went to it at. So I'd hate to see how nasty she was at work. So
Hey, well, think about this. There's probably a bunch of people out there who live like that, who work at restaurants and serve you food.
oh, I can
Or
tell you
make
there
your
are.
food.
I can tell you for sure there are.
Mhm.
That's disgusting
Because
now that I think
everybody
about
in
it.
Florida has air conditioning. So
Yeah.
Oh
I
man,
like to eat at home.
I'm just kind of hoping a doctor's not like that. Where
I've never been to a doctor's house that was like that, to be honest with you.
that's good. That's usually a good thing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I've never been to a doctor's house that was like that.
How many
I have been to
doctor's
nurses'
have you
houses
been
like
to?
that.
You
Huh?
got private visits, Chad? What you got to go to private doctor's house? What for?
Because the AC's broke.
Sure.
Because they want to be cool.
He's like, I can't be seen in those doctor's offices. People will know what I have.
Yeah. I've probably been to 2,000 different people's houses doing AC work.
Jesus.
Oh
That's
no,
too many damn houses.
and you know,
Lot of damn houses.
delivering for DoorDash, there was one house up in Kaysville that was just the outside of it was nasty, and you got to look in the inside house. Yeah, you could definitely tell the person was a hoarder,
Yeah.
but yet they didn't have the money to tip either. Go figure.
That's
They got
gross.
mad when we told them how much it was going to cost to fix their AC because their filter was too clogged up and they hadn't used a filter for the last 2 years, and now their AC's not working right. And
I wonder why.
yeah, and anything you touch has like a layer of dust on part of it, and then another layer of junk, and then another layer of dust. With 5 cats and 5 dogs running around the house, with smells like ammonia could eat up all the ductwork and stuff. And
Oh my God. And they're wondering why it doesn't work.
yeah, why doesn't it work?
Gee, the
I don't
wonders of the
understand.
world.
We just adopted 3 turtles, Jax.
Fuck them turtles.
Yep.
You talk about something that stinks is turtle tanks. That'll stink up the house.
I
real quick.
know. I've changed this thing out. Like, I just put them in here 5 days ago and already done changed out the tank yesterday.
I actually broke up with a girl. There's that noise again, Jax. I actually broke up with a girl because she wouldn't clean out her damn turtle tank, and then her house started getting real nasty, even while I was living there, and she'd make such a mess in the house and not clean it up. And I was like, hey, at least clean out one sink at a time.
Did they?
And then I
Did she have? She didn't have a filter.
On what, her turtle tank?
Yeah.
No.
You put a filter in it. There's a filter that's a shallow tank filter.
Yeah, I
that
know
you
what
put
kind
in
you're
it.
talking about. You have to clean that too, though.
There's a little packs in there that you put in it. It's like.
And then about a year later, I went over to her house and she had some ground meat sitting out on the counter defrosting. and there was about 50 roaches on the cellophane. I went back over to her house to fix her AC again.
Did you offer you a hamburger?
She actually offered me a fur burger. She offered me a fur burger, but I was like, no, that's okay.
I pass.
Fucking hamburger walks off on its own.
All the work I did was outside, and that's where I stayed, was outside after seeing that.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's nasty. I don't care who you are. That's nasty, right?
Yeah,
there.
that was roaches in her car and everything after that. I was like, that's okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, I did the same thing. We had pest control company come out, and these son of a bitches didn't do shit.
Yeah, they don't do shit.
I mean, we're going to wipe down we're going to knock all you on the outside. We're going to spray around for any fleas, anything like that, because you in the South, of course, you're going to have fleas in the grass. We're going to get rid of all that for you. Then we're going to put down rat baits, keep any rats or mice away from your home, and then we're going to wipe down any cobwebs that we see and any hornets' nests and all that. They get rid of. They ain't do none of that shit. Then they said you have to get everything open, and they're going to spray inside. The initial, when they first initially came out, they're going to spray everywhere. This dude came in and just sat down there and just walked around the edges and just went. I said, "Get the fuck out! Get out right now!"
Yeah.
Love it, Jax.
Is that better? Is it static?
Yes. Nope, you're good.
Okay, good.
My phone was doing that last night while I was talking to somebody, and I had to switch over to my computer cam because it kept on doing all that crap.
Yeah, my computer never came on. I don't even know what's going on with it. Like, literally just won't even come on.
That's not
drop
good.
it.
And the funny thing is, it worked all day. My daughter was using it earlier, and I took it and I was charging it, and now it's just like black.
How old is your daughter?
She's 9.
Yeah.
She knows more about this computer than I do.
It's probably when someone got a virus on it or something.
I don't know. She was watching some fun little video thing, and who knows what got on it. I have no idea. No clue. Sorry. Anyway,
Joys of kids.
I'm back. What are you guys talking about?
Roaches and ants,
Huh?
Please.
hamburgers that Chad's eating.
Hamburgers.
When I lived with her, there wasn't no damn roaches there, and I told her to get rid of the damn turtles. So,
Oh my God.
Because we have turtles now.
I gotta put my glasses on for this. You probably can't even see the comments, can you?
She's technology. You gotta love it sometimes. You
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? Isn't it the greatest?
I was watching an old episode of Cops, not paranormal or anything, an old episode of Cops that was here in Jacksonville. And this was from like 2000. And I guess it was at a homeless shelter. And all these people are sitting around watching America's Most Wanted. And one of the guys from America's Most Wanted was in the shelter whenever it came on. And he was wanted for like triple murder. And the sheriff's department shows up. And they're like, where do we find out who this guy is since he won't give us his right name? And they're trying to figure out how to look up America's Most Wanted on the internet. And none of them knew how to use the internet. And now the sheriff that actually looked, or the deputy that looked it up, is now our county sheriff. So
Lovely.
As the wife now.
there's actually a video on one of them from Jacksonville that y'all'd probably like. It was this guy that says he's into voodoo and everything, and he was a freak looking dude. And his wife or his ex-wife called him on him, and they're like, "Hey, he's telling you to move. He's already got a restraining order against you." And they're like, she's like, he's into voodoo and all kinds of crazy crap. And this big black cop goes in there to check out his house. He's like, "Yeah, I'll show it to you all. goes in there, and this guy's got like 50 snakes in a snake cage. That man about shit his pants and was out of that house in a heartbeat. Then the guy talked to him coming back in. He's like, where else are you got snakes? And he's like, from one end to the other. And he goes and opens up a closet, and there's 2 more snakes in the closet. He's like, these are mating right now. She's pregnant. That man was out of that house in like 15 seconds. You want to talk about a way to get that? If you ever had that cop and wanted him out of your house real quick, just show him a damn snake, and that man would have. I've never seen a cop get out of a house so quick.
I would have been out faster.
Well, you're
I'm gonna have to ask
snakes around here, so
I'm gonna have to ask my cousin as a
I
sheriff.
could beat Bigfoot at running out. I'd have been long
I'm sure
gone.
they found worse. You know,
Oh, you had what? Go back to wrestling. Jake the Snake.
Mm-hmm.
Jake the
He's
Snake.
walking.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. He was one of my favorites. Loved his promos. He was really good on the microphone. Terrific wrestler. He's now with All Elite Wrestling, managing one of the guys out there.
That's really cool.
Hey, Jackie, I got some more cucumbers for. I got some cucumbers I just picked today. If you want to come get some cucumbers, I saw you were posting your little cucumber thing on Facebook.
What?
Howard Jackie.
Oh.
She's in here, so
I was gonna say, yeah, that wasn't me.
yeah.
You talking about my Jackie posting cucumbers?
I know.
Jackie!
Yeah, she's all overnight those to me, please.
Well, you should have seen the one I had that Chrissy was drooling over last week.
Jackie!
What you need those cucumbers
What
for,
you doing?
Jackie?
Yeah, what you doing with cucumbers on the internet?
I mean,
Oh, cucumbers are good for you.
maybe she's lonely.
Really?
Chrissy's over here. Listen.
Listen, Chad.
Let's
Leave that open.
She's just
Leave that
trying to
open.
get her summer salad on, okay?
Said cucumbers are good for you. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck
They
cucumbers
are.
she got.
I like to drink cucumber water.
I've tried cucumber water once. Wasn't a big fan. It didn't settle with me.
I like it. It's good. Pickle water. Have you had pickle water?
No. No.
I like pickle juice.
I bet you do. Anything else you like?
This is the one Chrissy said she was going to make chocolate covered.
Well, for me, they usually come chocolate covered.
In Dakota.
Hey,
He
Dakota.
became a big brother.
Oh,
Congratulations, buddy.
how's the baby? Well, congratulations again.
Yeah, you want to talk? Yeah. Listen.
You loving the baby?
Yes.
Oh, she
You're
is
awesome.
precious.
Are you going to take care of your baby sister? Sister.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You like to hold
Better.
her?
Yes.
No. What are you gonna name her?
I don't know that. I want to say.
That's a great name.
Do what with your shirt?
Give me
Do you
that
guys
back.
have a nickname for the baby yet?
Baby's name is Emma Lynn.
Emma Lynn.
Emma Lynn. Yep.
Ooh,
All right, go
that's
back
a
to your
pretty
mama.
little southern name.
Slap her one time. There's your pickle. There's your cucumber, Momo.
Nice southern name.
He's a cute little man cub.
He's big. He's only 4.
Ooh. He's tall.
Yeah.
People say that he looks like he's
Hey.
6, 7 years old.
That's my son, Jack. He's almost 14 next month. He's already 6 feet. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, my 17-year-old, right around my height, 6 feet. And the worst part is he looks exactly like me. So
He
it's
does.
like, oh, man. I posted a picture earlier because he just got a job at the amusement park here in Florida
He
and
looks
everything.
Are you-
Oh,
like you.
You said amusement park here in Florida. Are you in
Or
Florida?
in Utah for it's called Lagoon. And
Oh,
he just got a job. He got a job out there today, and I posted a picture, and I've got nothing but, oh my God, it's a mirror image of you. Closest
It
thing
is.
I've seen is your twin.
It
And
is.
I'm
You
like,
guys
yep,
are.
I know.
It's a mini me of you.
Mini me. Well, I want to call him Mini for sure. He's
No,
actually,
but he's identical. Like literally. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
we're twins, all right, like 22 years apart.
My allergies are killing me.
Yeah, I hear you. That storm rolled in. It kind of kicked in my allergies a little bit.
Well, I've
You
been
got-
moving, so everything's dusty and taking things out of closets, and it's like it's rolling down at me. I'm like, have I ever cleaned in here?
Speaking
Well, at
about
least-
that dust, speaking about that dust, Chad, you ought to be getting it too right now too. That's the Saharan dust.
The African booty dust.
Yeah,
I'm not getting it that bad. You're getting it worse than I am. I call it African booty dust because it looks like Africa's got its ass sticking out, and it all comes down through there. So it looks like Africa's farting booty dust on you.
it does. I mean, this shit's. We got dust falling out of the sky
Yeah.
that comes from Africa.
Yeah, it uses the same way hurricanes travel, except for it's a big dust storm that goes all the way.
Yep.
It usually goes down the southern tip of Florida into the Gulf and then up through central U.S., like up through the plains. It's hitting Missouri and stuff too.
Wow. We never get stuff like that here.
That's because y'all got a mountain range blocking it from you. Same
bad.
reason why y'all always get so much pollution is because there's a mountain range blocking it from going anywhere.
We get it in LA really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. But not so much where I live.
Salt Lake City's just as bad, unfortunately, with the mountain range that he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Can't seem to get rid of it unless a snowstorm comes in, and then it's still worse.
Wow.
Most of my weather hits Howard before it hits me, or it hits us before it hits Howard. Because if it's a hurricane, it's going to usually go over Florida before, except for lately, the last few years, they just go all the way down around Florida and go straight to Howard. So
Hmm. They seem to always hit Louisiana no matter what.
They love it here.
yeah, they love Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
It does.
Hey, Nikki, by the way,
Hey, hey guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Nikki's from Australia, Mike.
Hey, Nikki.
Hello, Jax. How are you?
I'm good. I'm trying to play the phone thing tonight like you were doing the other night because my computer's
Yeah.
not working.
oh,
But
man,
I'm
I
making
meant
it
to
work.
send you a link. I meant to send you at least the link to the show, but
Yeah.
wow.
All good.
One of my friends is on here. Lee Strauss is on here tonight. So I just want to say hi.
Oh, nice.
Talk about looking at crazy weather. Canada's got like 5 tornado warnings right now.
We have those next
Oh,
week.
wow.
Canada.
Canada, yeah.
That's a little far.
So, Nikki, you have
Not too
do
worried
you have
about
do you have wrestling in Australia?
We have boxing, but that's pretty much it.
Boxing.
I know there's a few wrestlers that come from Australia that come out to America.
Oh, cool.
So, but it doesn't surprise me. I've actually got a buddy who's out there, Nick Borrego, who lives out in Australia. Not sure what part, but he
Mhm.
enjoys it out there.
Nice.
Seems like a lot more wrestlers come from like South America.
Yeah, it's mostly US.
hmm South America, Canada, United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Wrestling's really big over there too,
hmm
especially
It
female.
is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, without question, it is. And in fact, I think I know.
Female wrestling on Pornhub too.
No, what? Hey, I took that video down. Pipe that down.
It's still once you put it up, Jax, it's always up there.
Thank you for your honesty on that, cuz I won't be checking it out anytime soon. But thank you.
So
when are
when
you
we're
gonna
at
bring
the show, he's like, Jax wrestling.
When are you going to bring back midget wrestling?
It
It's
actually
still
happens a lot here. It's still around.
It's still
It's
here.
still around.
I know
I'm sure
out
I
here
can
in
find
I know in like Utah and Idaho, it's really popular. So
Oh, I guess
it's
the
around here.
PC.
It's
I
really
guess the
popular in
PC word-
Mexico.
The
Yes, it
PC
is
thing is
very
named
popular in
little
Tijuana.
people. Is it little
Mhm.
people? The PC thing they call them now, little people.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Because I love
Yep.
their porn, but I mean, I haven't seen the wrestling in a while. I do.
I still remember that episode or from Jackass 3D where they had the little people fighting. And then you think in the little cops, the little ambulance or the little paramedics. And
I
it was
remember
funny.
that.
It was in a bar, wasn't it?
It wasn't a bar. That's the crazy thing about it. It wasn't a bar.
Yeah. I remember
Oh,
that. God, that was such a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
Jesus.
So
I
do you
don't
still are you still doing a referee thing, or is it on your like a hiatus, especially with the COVID situation that they had?
Unfortunately, I've taken myself out of the wrestling business. One of the issues I've been having is ever since 2017, when I got a bacterial infection on my right lung, caused me to have asthma, and I've had a lot of problems with breathing, and it took a lot out of me. So I kind of had to step away from the wrestling business. But more importantly, it's just kind of like the paranormal stuff is kind of taken over more for my group and everything. To me, the wrestling stuff is just second nature. But I've been keeping an eye on the group that I was a part of, and they're doing fine. They're doing great. Just recently had an Impact wrestler there for a tryout / seminar, and they're going strong.
It's really weird because, like, I mean, obviously, I don't really like talk to too many of my family members in the paranormal, just you, really.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's weird because I heard that asthma runs really heavy in our family, and I have it really bad.
Yeah, and it's funny. I didn't pick up asthma until 2017. I was fine. I was healthy. Everything was great. And then I start having these chest pains on my right side, and it's a bunch of bacteria that's over my right lung that I was in 2 different hospitals for 1 week trying to get rid of this crap. And then I started having all these breathing issues, and it could have been from them trying to scrape off all that bacteria. It could have done something to my lung, making it where now I have asthma. And it's not
That's
good in
very
Utah
possible.
either. It's not good in Utah. And I can almost guarantee it's not going to be any good better in Los Angeles. So
No, mine's horrible. It's awful. Yeah.
You got the smog in Los Angeles and the dust in Utah. I mean,
you get a
gotta come
bad
down south.
you got a bad inversion that hits Utah. And what makes it worse is any of the California fires that happen, the smoke comes into Utah and it looks like we have a bunch of wildfires, but it's not us. It's mainly California. Granted, there's probably going to be like 8 or 9 in Utah going on at the same time. But all that dust, all that dirt, all that smoke and smog comes in, and it just makes life a living hell, especially in August. It's the worst.
I can imagine.
So thanks, Jax. No, I'm just kidding.
Why does everything always fall on me in this family?
You're the one in California.
I can't help that. I'm here. My family's here.
Quit setting all the
Yes,
setting all the fires.
Paul knows. Paul Welch
Chili,
knows.
what do you want?
We got Jennifer Lee, who's from Utah. She lives up there. She lives right there by Skinwalker Ranch and
Oh my
Blind
God.
Frog Ranch.
I want to go there so bad.
I'm still working on it. I'm still trying to get in touch with Brandon Fugel, the owner of the ranch. And as far as I know, they're still taping for the Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch on History Channel.
I think they are.
Yeah, they are.
And they're still airing episodes for this season, which my wife and I are trying to catch up on because it's entertaining to watch.
Wait, are they on season 2?
They're on season 3.
Yeah, he's starting to show season 3.
Oh, wait a minute. When they first, because I just recently watched it, was there already 2 seasons or was it 1 season?
There was already 2 seasons.
Okay, I think I watched them both. So now they've got season 3 out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need to start watching that.
Oh, this is midget wrestling.
Oh my.
Micro
Micro
wrestling. Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, look, there's another one.
Brutal dwarf.
My
fight.
gosh. I'm so blind. I can't even see him. Jesus.
Smidge, I'm the baddest motherfucking midget in the game, and I'm gonna take that belt from you. I've been doing this for 20 years. I Googled more, and all I saw was fake, wannabe, wrestling.
What's more entertaining than World Wrestling Entertainment? It's right here.
Right?
Oh, much more entertaining.
Got a bottle cap for a freaking belt.
There you go.
That's god awful. I love it. That's god awful. Oh, this ain't even wrestling. This is boxing.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Oh yeah, this is boxing.
My friend in Australia got the world title in boxing for female.
Oh, nice.
Really?
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah, she represented Australia last Olympics, and she won the title.
Well, that's amazing. Well, tell her we said congratulations from the classy bunch.
Woo!
The classy bunch.
The class.
Oh, that's going to be the new title for this show. Man. The
Yeah,
Pitre
look
Dish.
at my name right now.
The classy bunch.
The class. I like that.
What can we say? We are a classy bunch.
Yes, we are.
That's our new group name now.
Well, actually, here's an interesting fact because we were talking about UFC earlier. She went to school with Court McGee, who's a former UFC fighter. So she actually knew somebody that was a part of the UFC.
Yes.
So,
I used to watch a lot of UFC.
so my wife knows Court McGee, who's a former UFC fighter.
Oh.
They went to school together because she went to Layton High and they both graduated around the class of 2003.
Yeah, which is
So-
ironic because her name is the same as my name.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I knew her before you. That's the funny part about this entire
That
thing.
is the funny part about it.
Oh, the irony. But you can tell the difference because she spells it the traditional way. Yours is different, but still kind of cool.
Yeah, mine's very French, like
Yeah.
the more Louisiana French style.
Yeah.
I've
Well,
had
it
people
works.
ask, how do you pronounce her name? Jacques? Jacques?
It's Jacques to you, my friend.
Jock?
And,
Mr. Fancy Pants.
right here, though, Paul makes a very interesting point. It has gone too commercial. I know, like, famous rapper. Oh, what's his name? Oh, man. I know a famous rapper's went out there recently. And yeah, they've made it so commercial that it kind of almost loses its meaning. But to be out there at least once would be nice. I know September 8th through the 11th, they're doing the Paracon conference out there. And I'm trying to get my team out there to be a part of it. And I know that the group from Skinwalker Ranch is going to be a part of this event.
Where?
It's the Paracon. It runs in Vernal, Utah, which is east of where I live.
Yeah. I did see that they were going there. Yeah.
So it literally is within 15 minutes from Skinwalker Ranch, so it doesn't surprise me. They're even holding a couple of tours for Skinwalker Ranch for people to go out. But by the time I found out, they were already sold out.
Yeah. Are you ever going to get your team out to go look for Bigfoot? Or are you guys just going to stay like total like ghost hunting?
It's a goal here in the next few years to start focusing more than just the paranormal spiritual side. We'd like to start focusing on cryptids. My son Brody, who's 13 years old, started talking a little bit about the Mothman and wanted to know more information about that. And I told him, start looking it up. And because he's interested into the cryptids, which doesn't surprise me. His favorite monster movie is Creature from the Black Lagoon. So I would consider that a cryptid more than anything.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So he's big into the cryptid side. He's starting to get into it quite a bit more. And he started asking about the Mothman. I'm like, well, let's start looking into some research on it. But I would
Yeah.
like to study more of the cryptids and get more details into them. Because
Absolutely.
Bigfoot's one that I would like to study more upon. Because in theory, I believe Bigfoot exists.
Mhm.
But until I see one, until I see more data, until I see the skin samples, teeth, nails, whatever you can find, it's hard to kind of believe it's out there. But it's still the theory I do believe in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things I would love to see what data we can get on Bigfoot that would make history for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
You had to transmit, venereal diseases also while you had it. We've been asking that question on the Holy Trinity.
Yeah, because think about it. One of the questions that got brought up that I heard, and I'm like, oh, this is an interesting fact. How does it eat? Does it eat animals? And what does it do with the bones? Does it bury them? How do you don't even know.
After they eat the animal, you mean?
Mm-hmm. How do they handle that? Do they eat the whole entire bone in full?
I
don't think they eat the bones at all. I think that they literally just eat the animal's meat off as much as they possibly can, and they leave the bones behind. Like they tear them apart. It's not like just one whole animal of bones is going to be laying there. There's going to be bones of the animal all over because they literally rip them apart.
But it's not gonna. But it's going to be in an area, though. I mean, it's not going to be like he's going to McDonald's or Burger King, order me a deer and drive off and just start throwing wrappers out the window. That's not just. It's going to be in one area. This thing's going to sit down and consume it. So I mean, it's got to be bone something.
I absolutely believe, without a doubt, that they have feeding areas where they go and they literally eat all the meal. Like of the animal, but then they just leave the bones behind. It's just like a feeding area. And some people have actually found some of those where it'll look like a graveyard of bones.
That's fascinating. And that's something I would like to see, is try to find something like that, because that's how you're going to find Bigfoot, is you find that trail of bones, you find that graveyard, you so to speak. Yeah. All I know is the day I do go, I got to make sure I'm wearing brown pants. So I guarantee if I see one, I'm going to shit myself.
Me too.
And and that's the thing that kind of bugs me too. I've heard people say, "Oh, if I saw Bigfoot, I'd just shoot him." No, you're not. You're going to sit there frozen in fear. You're going to be crapping your pants. And chances are you're going to probably get killed, because you're going to be standing there like, what the heck? And then just get hit by it, get knocked out and everything.
Well, there's no reason to kill it. It's not going around killing people.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
And Lee makes a good point there. Yeah. It's one of those things where if we could go out and see something like this, and that would kind of help in the research of Bigfoot more than anything. But for now, the spiritual side is where we're focused on the most, but we are looking to expand more here in the future.
It's just like when someone goes on their first paranormal investigation on the spirit side, and they they get touched, or they get or they see something, or you hear an EVP in real time, and those people never seem to be the same after that. First, they're scared shit. I mean, you getting touched for the first time is not fun. It's not like, ooh, me, I loved it. Use me. I may pick, grab my arm, touch me, drag me where you want me to go. But what the hell was that? She must have had somebody trying to honk for her.
Well, I know a car alarm just went out outside of my place.
Oh, was that your car alarm? I thought that was
mine. Not mine. Someone else's.
Your camera's car alarm. Okay.
Well, and to bring up a point there, Howard, that's kind of how it was for me when I had my first paranormal experience. I was scared. I didn't know what to believe. I didn't know what was going on. And then after the incident happened, that's when I just started asking questions. Okay, how did this happen? Why did it happen? Who, what, where, when? Because the incident, I think I may have told you that, guys, this last time. For those who haven't heard, my first incident happened at Lagoon here in Farmington, Utah. The same place my son just got a job at, believe it or not. part of this, and this is something Jackie would love to come check out, is Pioneer Village, which is a bunch of the old buildings that date all the way back to the 1850s. They've got a church, they've got a jail, they've got a gun museum inside of this park with all the guns behind glass and everything of the old-fashioned guns that they used, trains and etc. And they used to have this old shooting game, Bonanza light shooting game, where you would shoot at the item and it would go off on its own. And I had the opportunity to work that game one night. And about 20 minutes before we shut it down, everything you shot at, including the items that weren't working, all went off at once. And I'm startled. I'm like, how's this happening? What's going on? And then once they were all done doing what they were doing, I was hearing footsteps down a particular hallway that only employees go through. And I'm thinking for a moment, and it's probably one of my bosses coming to help shut up down the game. I go walk down there. Very funny, guys. There's no one there. There's no one around the building. I'm by myself. And that entire experience just left me stunned. I was horrified. But then it just left me asking a bunch of questions. Okay, how am I doing this? How, or what happened? How, where, when, what? And that's what kind of got me into this, studying the paranormal, is you get so many questions that come up of how something happened. That incident right there, ever since that day, I've always wanted to know what happened that night.
And makes you, that's when you actually, to me, I love bringing someone who along who's a skeptic.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's never experienced it before, and when they get that first, or they get that, they're brave as hell. Okay, and when they come in, oh yeah, I can go do that. I don't believe in that crap. Okay, we'll go sit in this closet, and turn off the lights. And these lights are going to be off. One thing you're going to have in front of you is a camera, and it's going to be infrared. I mean, you won't be able to see anything, and the only thing you'll be seeing is you. You won't be able to see your hand in front of your face, and see how brave they are then.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, and a skeptic actually is one of the best things to bring on an investigation, because one of the reasons why we like bringing them, if something happens and they're there, they could probably sometimes debunk it. But if something happens that they cannot explain, the look on their face is just priceless, plain and simple, priceless. Yeah. So I love that part.
We talked to Dr. Landon last night, and she, the paranormal field is pretty much proven that there's life after death. There is something. Okay, it's just now it's getting more evidence and doing a more scientific. That's what it's become now. Instead of just going in and just trying to find it, is now trying to get more scientific evidence.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And I know with my team, based off of EVPs and a couple of photos and one amazing video, I guarantee you we've got enough to back up that the paranormal does exist based off of this evidence that we have gathered, for sure. And if I had a way to show it on here, I would pull up our best piece of evidence that we've ever captured at the old Indian school that I mentioned about that we were in back in 2009. The only problem is I've learned you can't see it on a cell phone. So, and a lot of people are watching this on a cell phone. It's not going to come out very well, to be brutally honest. In fact, when the same conference that me and Jax were a part of, I had to go through and try to find a way to make it so people can see this figure in it. And I started sharing this video to a lot of people out there to see this, and they were just amazed with what we caught. It was fantastic. So anyway, I will figure some way out for you to see it here in the future. It's just a really hard video, because if you don't have it at the right angle on the screen, it is hard to really view. I hate to admit it. I had to go through and really brighten it up so you could see this.
I'm trying to get this fixed because I have no sound.
Well, we can hear you. I can hear you at least.
Almost.
Got Bluetooth turned on somewhere? I guess she couldn't hear me anyway.
I need to get Chad on an investigation. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Because Chad, I don't think you've ever been on one, have you?
No. So I was trying to talk to Laura last night and stuff, because she was or Lauren last night, because she's there in Florida. So
Go and talk to her.
I'm friends
You got
with her now.
Well, there you go.
We'll get you out here to Utah. I know of one good place I could take you to investigate for the first time. I actually got a couple.
Me too.
So
Some real spooky shit too.
I'll tell you what, you pick your poison. You could either be near a ghost train or in the middle of the Great Salt Lake. Which one do you want?
Ghost Train.
I was going to say Ghost Train.
That was a cool experience. We actually did capture an EVP of a ghost train running through an area we were in. And it's actually the very first place we ever investigated, and it was the coolest thing in the world.
We were talking about last night. We were talking about haunted mines, actually. And I know Utah's got. They have a show that's on right now. I don't know how true it is because it's a show, and a lot of these shows that's for entertainment purposes. That's what they do.
Exactly, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
But of course, you have the Skinwalker Ranch. But there's another one, Blind Frog Ranch, and they're talking about this Aztec gold or that's something that's buried underneath because they got these underwater caverns and things of that nature and stuff like that. What's to say that you had these Indians that were out there, say, on Skinwalker, they didn't live in these caves or they didn't bury their dead in these caves and stuff of that nature? And what kind of activity you'd be getting out of something like that? You know, it's just like with these mines. You had they would bring in the railroad company would bring in Chinese immigrants.
Can you guys hear me?
And
yes.
Yes.
I can't
Can
hear
you hear
guys
us?
at all.
You got
Technology. Isn't it wonderful?
But
Yeah,
they were haunting that place. They were haunting the mine. Plus, they were haunting the actual town surrounding the mine.
Oh wow.
I do know where the railroad runs, where Golden Spike is at up in northern Utah. They did have Chinese immigrants helping with building it, and there's been reports of them being out there. You could hear the Chinese immigrants and everything. So it wouldn't surprise me to see something like that happen in a place that you just mentioned. It would be crazy. I know Utah's got a lot of different mines that are not safe to enter in, but they do got some mines that have a lot of history behind them. That is for sure. Ghost towns, you name it.
I mean, to me, that would be something. Of course, you living in Louisiana, we don't have. We have, they call them caves, but they're not really major caving systems.
Yeah.
They did the mines. I mean, if you go anywhere south of where I'm living at, you start as soon as you start digging the ground up, the water just starts seeping up.
Oh yeah.
So we don't have basements or anything like that here.
I'm back.
Yeah, we don't either.
Can you hear us now?
I can hear you guys now.
Okay, cool.
What was it?
That was weird. It just like went silent all of a sudden.
I hate it when that happens.
Freaks me out.
I've had more issues tonight, I swear to God.
Now it's all crackly again.
Oh, all right. I'm out. You guys have a great night.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
I'm done with this. Goodbye. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming on.
Have a good night. That's
I say
horrible.
it still do it. Usually, yeah, you can tell she's on her phone because usually it'll stay spinning for like 5 minutes while her stuff's logging off.
And she just shuts the lid. She doesn't log. She just shuts the lid. You can hear what she's talking about in the background. She's still talking. Yeah, but that was one of the things I found out. I mean, just like the water table here. That's why all of our cemeteries are down in the walls there are built up. You know, they are above ground. We have these big shrines or whatever you want to call mausoleums. It's because we can't bury them in the ground because they'll just pop up. You get a
Water table's really low.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't Louisiana near sea level or below it?
Below sea level.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, that
Well,
don't
New
surprise
Orleans, Louisiana is above sea level, but it's New Orleans is below sea level. It's in a boat. They have a levee system around it and everything. That's why what happened with Katrina, the levee system broke, and the bowl just what happens when you just pour milk into a bowl. It's just going to keep filling up. It took weeks just to get this shit pumped out.
Oh yeah, I believe it. With Utah, we do bury them underground because we're above sea level, like significantly. But with Utah, I've noticed ghost towns are really big. Old places like Mills, and we do. There's a museum in Layton that we recently investigated on Friday the 13th. That was a crazy experience. There's just so much out here you can go and investigate as long as you're doing it legally, obvious reasons. I know people in Utah, one of the biggest places that people want to check out is the Ogden City Cemetery, which is north from where I live. In fact, Chris Black, who I've mentioned here earlier, he lives 3 blocks from it. And there's the old folklore of this one named Flo. That if you honk your horn 3 times, she appears, which we've never had any way of really knowing if it happens. Because with Ogden City, they have pretty much made it after a certain point, you're not allowed on the property. And if you're caught, it's considered trespassing. And I've emailed the mayor, I've done whatever I could, and they will not budge about letting us come out and investigate that to get the answers, which is, it's not surprising. But on the one I was mentioned, Friday the 13th, back in May, we were investigating this museum that is a heritage museum for the city of Layton. And after we did a live stream for an hour, we were having some stuff go on and everything. And then 10 minutes after we got done with the live stream, we're in the middle of this museum, and all of a sudden we start hearing music in the background. And there's this music box that sits right near the entrance that was going off on its own with no way to start it, no way to turn it on because it's covered. It's in plexiglass, and there's no way to get in it to shut it off or anything. So it was a bizarre twist. Like none other. I loved it. It was amazing.
Yeah, the thing is, you talking about that, I had the same situation happen in my house. There's a music box that actually plays, and it plays a modern day song. The modern day songs. It's called Senorita, or something like that, sung by a woman. And because I had to look it up because I recognized that song. And I looked it up, and the name of the song is Senorita. But we have this music box that plays in our house. I don't own a music box.
That's awesome.
Oh wow, that's cool.
There's nothing like that in my house. Nothing.
Oh, that'd be so interesting to have something like that happen, where you go into a location and music all of a sudden starts playing, and you have no way of it happening. I think that's like one of the coolest things to have because it's an experience you're never going to forget. And the cool part is the music box going off, we did capture on video. It was the most amazing thing. Because what the curator was telling us, that's never happened before. They've had other ghost hunting groups go in, and that's never happened before. So we were one of the first to experience it. And I'm like, okay, now that's awesome. An experience like none other.
It's just like when I was at Myrtle's plantation and sitting on the back porch at about 5:30 in the morning. And I was waiting for the kitchen to open up to get a cup of coffee because I was up all night. We were investigating. Everybody went to bed, and I just stayed up. And I'm sitting on the back porch, and they had this cat that walked up there, and he walked towards the kitchen. I said, "Well, look at that. That's a cute little cat. Cute little cat." Walked towards the kitchen and just sat there for a minute and just walked off into the bushes. I said, "Okay," and the first lady that shows up, she's unlocking the kitchen. She said, "We'll be out in a minute with, have some coffee and all that for y'all. So appreciate it." I said, "Yeah, I think that cat's ready to eat." She said, "What cat?" And I said, "Yeah, a little cat." And I described it to her. And she said, "Oh, so you saw the cat?" I said, "Yeah." She says, "There are no cats here. That's a ghost cat. It's just
nice.
Somebody that owned the house had a cat, and the cat's never left."
That's
Same
incredible.
cat. They showed me. It was like paintings of this cat. That's the cat. I thought they were full of shit.
That's incredible. I love that. That's an awesome experience. And,
I
and I
mean,
do,
you get experiences like that all the time, but the thing is, they're personal experiences. You know,
Yeah.
you're not there with a camera. You're not there with with a recorder or anything. There's no way to document this. It's just a personal experience. I've had Jackie, my wife, she was behind me. We was walking behind the slave cabin, same place, Myrtle's Plantation, walking behind by the slave cabins in a big open field. It looked like fireflies that were coming through this tree line. I mean, it was just really intense. And all of a sudden, you seen this one figure came out, and you could see the hat, you could tell it was a musket, and just walked off to one side. And then another one came out, not even like a second later, and then walked the other way. And I turned around and I looked at Jackie, and this was her first investigation. I said, "Baby, you seen that?" And then when I did that, she was already by the fucking slave cabins, which is about 500 yards away. She done left my ass in the woods by myself.
damn.
I've heard of that
That's
kind of
a
stuff happening around here too, with the Civil War stuff and everything.
Personal experiences. That's all you can
Yeah.
chalk it up as.
Yeah. Personal experiences are still nice though, because you will experience something nobody else has and no one else probably will. And it's still an experience. And when people have those experiences, I still tend to believe them, because some people will try to make up crap to just get attention. There's others that you can tell are sincere. This happened. And you can see it in their eyes. And in your situation, Howard, I can see this happened to you. This is legit. There's no argument about it. So, I mean, that's one place right there I would love to investigate in the future once funding and gas prices go down, if they ever do. Yeah, it would be an amazing place to check out for sure.
But again, the bad part is that with that, with the Myrtle's Plantation, it became too commercialized. Now they have this big restaurant that sits in the middle of the courtyard, right there by the courtyard, and then you have tours that run through this place till about almost till midnight. So you really can't do no real investigating in the place, because even if we rented out the whole house. People were staying in, other people stayed in slave cabins. They were staying in. They even built this almost apartment complex type thing where people can go stay in this thing on the grounds. And the only time you can really get any true evidence is about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. But you still have people who went to the restaurant. They sit in the courtyard. They drinking. They doing whatever they want to do. So when can you get evidence?
Yeah.
The place, it's hard to get evidence now.
And unfortunately, it's for a lot of places, it's the same way. Asylum 49 out here in Tooele, they will hold ghost tours all the time. People drive by. In fact, the investigation we did out in Tooele was a mile away from this location. And one of the biggest problems is, in order to even investigate it, you have to pay an arm and a leg to get in. And I'm like, it's not worth it in that case. Where for us, for the last 3 years, our paranormal group has been focusing on this Building-Gar Ranch in the middle of the Great Salt Lake, and have had some of the most amazing things. And I guarantee you there is a portal inside that place, because the activities changed consistently. And we've had things from having light anomalies float past people. We've had a chuckle you heard out loud in the middle or around 2 o'clock in the morning. That place has the history behind it. It is insane. But there's also some funny stories that happened there too. Like when we went out there one time, and we have our team in the woods checking this place out, and me and my other fellow founder, Justin, we're sitting there watching him, keeping an eye on things, making sure nothing comes out. And then all of a sudden he starts saying, "Chris, I'm seeing red eyes right there." And I'm looking and I'm seeing these same red eyes. I decide to go up closer to it. And the closer I get to it, I realize they're deer. They're just deer looking at us. And I'm looking at Justin, dude, they're deer. He was freaking out over some deer.
I'd be freaking out if I was like that and they were low to the ground. I'd be saying alligator.
Yeah.
And they do that too. But the scarier thing out there is there's bison, and they roam the island. They've never gotten so close to the ranch itself, But there have been times we investigated a location near there, and you can hear the buffalo, and we're like, nope, I'm not in the mood to get gored today.
Well,
Just
my
jump on the
suggestion,
back and ride 'em.
my suggestion to people out, my suggestion to people out there right now, don't go to these places where you pay an arm, because you said that just a while ago. You pay an arm and leg. Some places want for a group, maybe $500 or $600 for a group to go in, or $300 a person, or just to go in and do a night's investigation, because nothing is 100% when you go on these investigations. You might go into an investigation and there's nothing. It's just dead that night. But the following night, it might be the walls bleeding, something's coming out of the ground. It's all hell breaks loose. And it's just that you just lost out $300. My suggestion: research the place where you live, the area that you live in. Look into that there's history everywhere, and just follow up on it, and just investigate. You might have that Waverly Hills or that one of these Penhurst or something like that. You might have that in your own backyard, and you just hadn't realized it because you're going off and want to go to these bucket list places. I mean, there's a little Texas Mineral Wells. I didn't even give it two thoughts of it. And they did a Unity event there, and the activity that they were getting in Mineral Wells. I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy. It's just weird. Out in the middle of freaking Texas.
Texas has got a lot of activity. That doesn't surprise me at all. And I tell people this all the time, that the paranormal works on its own time. It does not work when you want it to.
Right.
You could do everything you can to make it happen. It's not going to do it. So paying $300 to go to a place and nothing happens is the most disappointing thing you can ever think of. With us going to this place out in Antelope Island, it has been one of the most amazing experiences ever. And if you guys ever come out this way, let me know. I'll set up a time, or we'll go out and investigate it. In fact, August 19th, I'm shooting for, which is Fieldingar's birthday. We're going to go out there and see if we can try to get him to respond. I might even bring a birthday cake and bring some candles and see if they will interact with it.
There you go.
We get ready to do a documentary. In this little, I live in Mandeville, Louisiana, and this little cemetery, it's the old Mandeville Cemetery, and they have more history in that cemetery than I've ever seen in my entire life. And we're getting ready to do some documentaries in there, and to actually bring it to light what's happening here. One of the main people that's buried here is Faith Hathaway. She, of course, they did a movie about her murder. Dead Man Walking with Susan Sarandon and Sean Penn. She's buried here, and the actual murder, and he's buried. The guy who did it is buried in Covington, and the Freaky is called Freaky Caves. It's not Freaky, it's Freaky Caves. Up a little bit towards Franklinton, Louisiana, that's where the murder occurred. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to get some EVPs from her gravesite, and then go to the murder site and try to see if we can get anything there. And whatever EVPs and document all this, and whatever EVPs that we get, we're going to his gravesite and play them back and let him hear it.
That's a terrific idea. I love it.
Get the response and see what he does.
That's a great idea. I like that.
You've been followed home from that
clear.
cemetery, hadn't you?
Was that?
I said, you've been followed home from that cemetery, hadn't you?
Yeah. Then they have a Civil War soldier that I go in there and I talk to. He's actually, I have his picture of his tombstone and everything. It's actually a plaque now. He was from Ireland.
Oh wow!
And they got him straight off the boat. That's how they did it when they had the Civil War. The people who were migrating over to the United States, you want to be a citizen, you join the South or you join the North. They were getting them in New York. People were getting them here in the South. So this guy was buried, and we've got EVPs from him where he said that he's lonely. He's tired. He's cold. He's
Oh my
dirty,
God.
and he misses his wife. And these are all EVPs within 2 days period. Just getting from him. So I've been doing some research on him. I'm trying to get a lot done from him and see what, if I could track his family down, let him know where, I'm pretty sure they did, but I want to make sure,
And that's an interesting thing because imagine being this guy who lives in Ireland trying to get out of there and explore a new world just to come into a world where you're going to go into war and just die instantly. That's tragic. You figure, oh, there's got to be something better out there, and it ends up getting worse. So the EVPs you got, that's incredible. That right there just proves that the paranormal does exist, but in addition, the tragedy behind it. Kind of like what we were talking earlier with the wrestlers. Tragedy behind it.
In the same cemetery, about maybe 50 feet away, we was in there with John Doherty and a friend of he's a fellow investigator in my team. We was sitting down, Corey. We was just sitting down shooting, video, and we are just playing around in the cemetery. Just seeing where we can get some EVPs or whatever. And the way these, if you're buried in the ground up here, they got like a chain wall that's around where your plot's buried. Where you buried your final resting spot. And we found this old tombstone, and it's weird. It looks like your typical tombstone, but the top part is in English, but the bottom part is in Celtic.
Wow.
And this is French now. We Spanish and French. That's all that lived through here at that time. And so we were just sitting down there, just asking questions. I said something, and John would go on the EVP on the recording and said that was Howard. He just said this, or we debunking everything. We want to make sure there's nothing getting through there. And one part of it, we were just sitting down on the edge right next to another tombstone, and right part of it, it's just all of a sudden this guy comes in and you can hear it. He even has the accent down. It came through our recording and voice box. It says, "Get off me tombstone." And I looked at John. John looked at me, and I said, "I'm getting the fuck out."
Yeah, Rob.
I mean, to have that and that, it wasn't like I'm talking to you right now. I mean, this guy had a thick accent. It was like Irish or Scottish. It was Celtic, something Celtic, and it was a really thick accent. And I was like,
That is incredible.
he still has that evidence. I've been trying to get it from him, and he won't send it to me.
That's absolutely incredible. And we actually did do an investigation a couple of years ago in a cemetery in Ogden, because there's another one. And I remember reviewing the footage from this, but we had Justin and another team member over by this one thing that looks like a giant tombstone. And they were getting some weird vibes off of it. And he goes to touch it, and he has a spirit box running, and it goes, "Don't touch," right before he touches it. And you hear it clear as day. I'm like, wow, it's incredible. And you have a lot of different, like you have, of course, the LDS Church. You have the Masons that were buried out there, and a lot of children graves. A lot. That's really sad to say, honestly. That place was incredible. It even has a little mausoleum as well, a Jewish mausoleum in the middle of this cemetery. And we were picking up weird energy spikes with that particular place.
And it's like a place up in a little bit further up north. It's in Bogalusa, Louisiana. This is out in the middle of the woods. I mean, we took a logging trail to actually get to this cemetery. And this cemetery is pristine. It has a chain link fence around. It's an old chain link, but it's well kept. The grass is cut in there and everything, but it's in the middle of the freaking woods. I mean, it's like the middle of nowhere. And like 90% of the graves there were children under the age of 1.
Ooh.
That were buried there. And that's where I've gotten an attachment from. It was one woman that I so happened, and it said mother on the footstone. And I said, "Hello, mother." And she attacked me. And then I got tired of it, and I called her a bitch. And then, because I mean, they're always life or in death. I mean, if she was a bitch, she's a bitch. I mean, and I called her out on it. attacked me for 5 days. It took a Catholic priest to finally cleanse me. We did rosaries and everything. Oh yeah, he had to come cleanse me.
That's insane. Yeah, you got to be very careful. You got to be very careful when it comes to that stuff. You try to, and I get why, because you would say mother and they start attacking you.
Yeah.
But at the same, you got to also remember too that these spirits, sometimes they don't know they're dead. So you got to try to be as respectful as possible. And I don't ever encourage any type of disrespect, because you get what you paid for, plain and simple.
Mhm.
And in this experience, you definitely got what you paid for. It was insane.
Well, I had a couple of mediums telling me that what this woman wanted from me was that she was looking for her child, and she wanted me to help her. And her attacking me wasn't getting that help. She just kept. I mean, it was like somebody hit me in the back of the head with a freaking baseball bat. It almost knocked me to my knees. That's how bad it was. Just like bad headache. Just boom.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like, oh, and I walked it off, and I came back, and she did it 2 more times, and I was like, oh, you bitch. It's like, whoa. And then ever since she stuck with me for about 5 days. So
yeah, and sometimes it's just human nature. Someone treats you bad, you're going to start acting up about it. It happens.
Right.
In this case, you get hit in the back of the head like you got hit with a baseball bat. Yeah, you are going to respond that way.
It was a bad response. I mean, I should have thought about it, because usually when we do investigations, we usually go live or something like that. We put it out there for everybody to watch. And when we do our investigations, we treat the dead with respect, because they were humans. They were alive at one time, and they deserve to be treated that way. But then again, you have good people out there and you have bad people, just like in spirits. Some of them are good and some of them are assholes. And it just so happens, sometimes you run across an asshole. You got to call them out on it.
And if you get 2 assholes together, like that woman and Howard, then bam,
make a shit.
Oh,
sound.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's no argument about that. I guarantee it. You bring 2 negatives together, there's nothing positive about it, unfortunately. Nothing at all.
But yeah, I usually show love. I usually show light. I even ask them if they want me to help. I'll be more than glad to help them. Just tell me what you want. We'll sit down there with EVP recorders. We'll sit there with voice boxes. Everything. Anything that I can capture some type of EVP from. And sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It's just like one of those things, hit and miss. So.
Oh, yeah. And you know what's funny? Be careful to, like, stuff like this. Listen back carefully, because I run a podcast called the Geek End Podcast that we air every Thursday. And in the middle of recording, I'm picking up EVPs. I actually have one from an episode we did, and you can actually hear something in between, and it was none of us. I'm like, whoa, that is insane.
Right.
Oh my gosh, it's incredibly insane.
Look, Chad, I dried off, Chad. Look, I dried off.
Oh, I'm drying off still. I got the fan going back here.
I'm actually just kind of happy I'm in the garage where the breeze comes in and it just flows with the air conditioner. It works just fine. I feel good. I feel great.
Well, yeah, but you do it out here, it's like you've been in a microwave, man. You put the fan on, it's like microwave in your ass.
Fact, that is true. You are in Louisiana, and it's probably a little bit more humid than Utah, but yeah, I don't blame you at all.
My temperature went down from 88 to 81 now, but it's 85% humidity now instead of 50%. So,
Oh, wow.
Humidity going up, baby. Yeah, you getting ready to get some rain.
As soon as that temp comes down, that humidity comes up. So, but usually we have a rain shower in between. That way it's 105 or 100 degrees plus 100% humidity. So,
and we were mentioning about tornadoes earlier. Utah had one on Sunday. This past Sunday, in Father's Day, the weather was crappy at a certain point, and there was an F2 that hit.
Chicago, I think, got hit from that same storm by a tornado.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And what's funny is growing up, I always thought Utah never got tornadoes because of the mountains. And then in 1999, we had that one in Salt Lake that actually killed a person, took the roof off of the, was it Vivint Smart Home Arena? And I'm like, no, that did not happen. And then 15 years later, I ended up seeing my first tornado in Ogden. And I remember going to pay a bill and I started noticing that the electricity was flickering and stuff. I'm like, I need to get out of here. So I'm sitting in my car and I watch the power go out in the building. And then off to my left, there I start seeing things flying around. I'm like, that's a tornado. Oh my heavens. And I'm within 500 to 1,000 feet with this thing. And then the hail comes down like a snowstorm. I was like, I just survived my first tornado. Whoa. And it is the craziest thing. I never thought Utah could get tornadoes. I was completely wrong. And it's still amazing.
Everywhere gets can get tornadoes. I have to worry more about lightning here. Lightning's probably more dangerous than tornadoes or even hurricanes.
Thunderstorms all the time, man. Every afternoon is a thunderstorm.
Yep.
Louisiana usually happens, but now we're in a dry spell.
We've been getting thunderstorms quite a bit out here, and I'm in a desert, so there's always a dry spell. When they say
part of that weather is being caused by that African booty dust coming that far north.
Yep, definitely.
It got up to 41 Celsius here at my house today.
Jeez.
Yeah, no.
All right, but it's 10:06. Let me get ready. Chris, thank you for coming on. We're going to have you back on because we're going to have Jack's dress up and bring Mrs. Bigfoot back. And
Me and Nikki both say that it's 11:06.
11:06.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's 11:06 for you guys. It's 9:06 for me. So
It's
early evening. So, yeah. No, thank you very much for having me on.
Out of the world.
But yeah, thank you so much for inviting me to come out. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
And I do want to do a quick shout out to our sponsor, Dark Prime Collectibles, that we just recently signed in the last couple of months. And I want to thank them for their sponsorship and everything. Terrific company to be a part of. In fact, we just recently investigated their place and had some interesting things happen. So we'll hold that story for another time. But yeah, next time you want me on, let's make it happen.
I don't know if you want to come on. Well, tomorrow night on Holy Trinity, we're going to talk about foods that you should and shouldn't eat before going on an investigation. Now, Chris, you want to come on, and you can be more than welcome to come on that show if you have anything to do tomorrow night. That's going to be me, Chad, and Chrissy, the Listen Queen. We'll be having that show. So listen, yeah.
I'll have to see what's going on because I do have to do a little bit of work tomorrow. If I can make it on, I'll be more than happy to.
It's late night. It'll be 9:30 Central. So
it'll be around 8:30.
8:30 your time.
Yeah. Let me see what's going on. And just keep in touch with me and I'll let you know.
Okay. And then next week on the Pitre Dish, we have the Jersey psychic herself, Miss April Bissett. She'll be on. Wonderful lady, good friend of mine. She's funny. She's witty. She's class act. She's been on like the Hosier Files and things of that, different groups and stuff like that. So she'll be on next week. So stay tuned in for that. And on Paranormal Swamp Talk, I have no idea what still that show. I mean, it's like, but anyway, I just make shit up on that show sometimes. And even on Holy Trinity, I mean, I've gotten to that point. Like last week, we did Big Ass Spider. We did the movie Big Ass Spider.
Yeah, I was totally whatever you call it from that.
They thought I was having the actors on. I said no, because we're going to talk about. I just so happened to have the people who was in the movie. You know, their poster with the movie poster with Big Ass Spider, and it was Jose and Alex, and I just wanted to show people those were the two main characters. And it says right underneath it, come on, Friday night we'll be discussing the movie Big Ass Spider. And
it said something like with Alex and Jose.
It did not. I have that poster still here.
Well, 2 out of 3 of your hosts thought that you were saying it was with the actors. So, and I never know about who you're going to get on, Howard.
I read it.
You get on TV stars, you get on authors. You know, I never know what you're going to be able to pull out of your ass. I mean, it might be one of these for all I know.
It could be. I'm sitting on one like that right now. It's a big old hemorrhoid.
So it's more like this.
About that same color too.
Here's another one. You know.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me on, guys. We'll definitely have to make this happen again as I got more stories coming. So.
Oh yeah, we want to hear it. We definitely want to hear it. Well, thank you for coming on, Chris, and we'll talk about it and see if we can get you back on. And everybody else, we'll see you next week, or we'll see you tomorrow night. And, stay tuned.
Check us out tomorrow.
Yeah, check us out tomorrow night.